Just
Go
let
put
them
that
show you
gun
your
in your car.
passport and search them down. No
Can I
weapon
join the
allowed
DLC?
in the courtroom.
You have a gun, you can't come inside.
Okay, I
But
want to
I'm
join
gonna
the
just do a
government.
quick search, sir.
Put that gun in your car.
That's fine. You
I
come in.
want to join the government.
My turn.
Can I see your passport, please, sir?
Of course you can.
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
Thank you. I'm gonna do a quick search, is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yep, that's fine. Come in. See your
Can I help
passport,
you,
please, sir.
sir?
I'm just gonna do a quick search, is that okay?
Alright, yeah.
That's fine. Come in.
Request? They say come to
Yo, guys, do you know where the courtroom is by any chance?
Fuck you!
Wait,
Yes,
aren't you
the
like
Fuck you,
courtroom
fuck
Bunny's?
you,
is
fuck
over
you,
there,
fuck you,
sir.
fuck you.
Wait,
Fuck
are
you.
you Bunny's sister or
Fuck you, fuck you.
Bunny's mom or something?
No, Honorable
off.
Judge Jordy Chimp.
Yo, wait. Yo,
Court is in session. Please, everyone, take a seat.
wait, do you remember me? I'm Bunny's. I was Bunny's best friend.
One of you.
No, I'm not doing that. Not after this
Fuck you, fuck you.
lawyer was rude. We can. Little bitch. I literally was helping with the fucking warrant and fucking crime.
I am with you, okay?
No, he's rude. Shit, fam. He's shit, fam, anyway. Oh, we have a lot of people. We got numbers, bro.
Did you see the truck on Morgan?
Bro, we're rolling deeper
blue-
than
blue shirt
LSPD.
guy,
What is
yo,
going
we're
on?
reserving that seat. Can you go on the other side of the white guy?
Okay, don't.
Guys, I hope
Thank
you
you,
guys
thank
doing
you.
good today. I like your handbag, bro. Very nice.
Alright.
Did your wife give it to you?
Perfect.
Nah, G.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Have a good day, bro.
Fuck you.
Hello.
Don't
Am
say
I
fucking
audible?
fuck off!
Please,
Ladies and gentlemen,
everyone-
can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can
Everybody
hear you.
who's around
Alright,
here.
please join courtroom number 2. Courtroom number 2 in the government emails.
What? What?
Government emails. Courtroom number 2.
Max, I
I
can't
can't,
see you.
I
You're
can't,
so
I
small.
can't.
No, you can stand down there next to the table. Yes. Sir, can you please move yourself from this place? Otherwise, you will be removed.
No, I will go, I swear.
If you want to look badass, you can, yeah.
Sit down.
Guys, today we will make disco, disco, disco time.
G-Man, go
Guys,
arrest that man.
disco today.
You have 5 seconds to get out of here.
Don't mind if I do.
Where are you going?
Hey, yo, Jimmy, who do you think is gonna win right now? You know, that's a very good question. Let me hear what you have to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not already, please join courtroom number 2 in the grand roleplay government email.
Can you move your
What's
You got this, Kevin.
Yo.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Keep up the good work and stay safe. No problem.
How do I listen in again?
okay? Perfect. Alrighty. Sorry, let me try that again. Okay. So this is the filing that we've made against Mr. Robertson. 2 counts of disobeying orders, Penal Code 4.1.1. Deliberate failure by an employee of state structure to comply with the order of his immediate superior commander if the order given does not violate the norms of San Andreas law and human rights. Punishable by up to 45 months in prison, as well as mandatory dismissal of an employee from his position without the right to reinstatement. Also charging Mr. Kane Robertson with 2 counts of obstruction of justice, Penal Code 3.5, subsection B and C, 1 count of each. Subsection B's count, preventing a Leo or civil servant from completing or otherwise hindering their ability to perform their official duties. Subsection C, insulting or otherwise harassment of an LEO or civil servant. Punishable by a fine of up to $15,000 and imprisonment of not less than 30 months, and depending on severity, can be up to, but not exceeding, 60 months. In this case, we will be pursuing the medium of 45 months, Your Honor, for this charge.
Thank you very much.
Also, I would like to read the state's remedy. So,
Of course.
So basically, what we are seeking is the fine of $15,000 for the violation of Penal Code 3.5, subsection B and C. We are going to search for $30,000 as there are 2 counts, and also a 75-month imprisonment term for the 2 counts of disobeying orders and 2 counts of obstruction of justice.
All right. Thank you very much. What does the defendant have to say?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
All right. Then we will proceed with the evidence, I would say.
All right. Your Honor, I'd like to introduce State's Exhibit A.
Yes.
We'll begin with the proof. Would you like the proof of body cam, Your Honor, as we've
Of
already
course.
put that in the file? Okay, you'd just like to see that again?
I have it in the file, but if Mr. Heldens wants to see it, then he has the right to see it as well.
Mr. Heldens, would you like to see the body cam activation proof?
But I've seen it, but yeah, just
sure, not a problem. Not a problem at all. Bear with me one moment while I get it loaded up on the monitor. Body camera provided by Peter Damon, Deputy Director of DOC.
All right.
This is 1046. Body cam was activated. Okay. I'll begin with the footage now, Your Honor.
Yes, please.
Just bear with me one more second.
The technique in the courtroom. No worries.
All right, Your Honor. Can everybody see the monitor?
1 second.
Yes.
Yes, now I can see it.
Excellent, very good. I'm gonna play this. Try not to ear rape all of you, but I'll play this. Just let me know if you can hear the sound.
Yes, we can hear it.
Everybody can hear it?
Yes, Mr. Tosca.
Excellent, very good. All right, I will begin presentation of the evidence.
That fucker over there is being corrupt. No, he just walked away from me while I was talking.
Okay, Sean. I don't know.
Like, seriously. Can be no corruption, you hear?
No, listen.
I mean, serious. I should be a fucking...
Ignore this part, please.
Well, how about I see your guys' IDs? Not even on duty. You're not on duty. Take it somewhere else. Yeah, well, I'll go and put my uniform. I'll go on duty right now.
If you're a government official, you can't be talking to employees like that.
Yeah. But if I'm a government official and
yeah, I know.
What do you call it? Are you a government official?
I am part of the LSPD, not government official.
Well, if you're part of the LSPD and the rules of the handbook.
To take a moment here to explain the context of this. This was where the charge of obstruction of justice 3.5 takes into place, as this officer is trying to access the armory. Mr. Robertson is obstructing the access to the armory, which this officer needs access to in order to receive the gear necessary to do his job, which is where the charge of obstruction 3.5 has stemmed from.
Is that if there's nothing we can do for you today, you must leave.
Once again, Mr. Robertson obstructing justice by ordering police officers who were there trying to access the armory for lawful purposes to perform their duties as clearly defined in the penal code. Another example, Your Honor.
Prison as well. Thank you. Plus,
Yeah, but you don't work here. You don't work here.
but I'm allowed to come in here whenever I
Yes,
want.
if you're processing a 1015.
I can come in here whenever I want.
You know?
I'm pretty sure
Are
I
you
can come in
processing
here.
a 1015 now? No, you're not.
I was helping processing the 1015. So why are you
Yeah,
here?
what are you doing then? Like I said, if I see any corruption, you know, especially if you guys doing corrupt shit, trying to escort a prisoner around, I'm gonna detain you.
Where the fuck are you getting corruption from? It's a prison. Like what? Like yeah. Like what are you fucking
No,
saying?
I'm serious. While I work
No,
here,
come in
there
here.
should be
Come
no
in here. Hold
corruption.
on. I'm fucking sick.
I apologize for the. I'm not quite sure what happened here with the camera footage, but Your Honor, I would like to mention for the record that no complaint by Mr. Robertson was filed with the DOC or the DOJ regarding the actions of any LSPD officers or any other employees stemming from this incident.
Objection. There was a complaint, and we subpoenaed LSPD for the body cam of Officer Valencia. After this took place, there was an incident where he refused right to an attorney. This was the complaint that stemmed from this encounter.
Your Honor, I would like to mention that the subpoena was rejected by the Supreme Court.
Objection. The subpoena was approved by the Supreme Court, and after receiving body cam from one Peter Damon, it had then repealed its subpoena.
Objection sustained. Please continue.
No, you can't detain nobody, bruh.
Yeah. Concludes the video footage of Exhibit A.
Mm-hmm.
With your permission, I'd like to move on to body camera footage of Exhibit B.
If the defense does nothing have to say about this,
I would like to quote the unprofessionalism displayed by one of the DOC officers.
Objection, Your Honor. This DOC officer is not on trial.
objection
But
sustained.
he is relevant to the case. All right. Well, never mind. Yes. Then we can move on to Exhibit B.
Perfect.
Would you like to see the body camera activation? It's the same footage that you saw earlier, the same image you saw earlier, but would you like to see that again, Your Honor?
Mr. Helgens? I don't want to see it. I saw it. Mr.
No,
Helgens, do you want to see it?
the same, if it's the same, then no, I'm good.
Excellent, very good. At this time, Your Honor, State would like to introduce Exhibit B.
Yes.
All right, very good. Bear with me one moment. Load it up on the monitor. All right, once again, please let me know if everybody can hear and see the video.
It's not playing. Oh, okay. Yes, it's audible and.
Very good.
There's new legislation, bruh.
There's new legislation, bills, and laws that have been taking place. That doesn't matter.
The video's not been shown.
It doesn't matter.
It's just the video. It'll load in about 25. It'll load right about 28 seconds.
I want the DOC warden or director of DOC or high command of DOC right down here now.
He's right here, bruh.
Peter? Yeah, FYI, I want this guy fired from the job. So then he gives me 2 times, and I want him detained as well. Once you fire from, I want you to pass the order for him as well. Peter, you need to talk up as well. I think this is absolutely intolerable.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that, man. I don't know why he's acting like this.
Tony Como is calling me. Yeah, Peter, talk up again.
So, Deputy Director Peter Damon has issued an order to Kane Robertson to return his gear as his direct supervisor.
Would you mind replaying that, please?
Yes, of course. I'm just going to scroll back to 1 minute for a good visual. Was that sufficient, Mr. Holdens?
I'd like the record to reflect that one of the officers asked Peter Damon to cough drop and said, insinuating that they could not hear the order. I'm good.
Would you mind if I play that again one more time, Your Honor?
No, not at all.
You will hear that. You will see that Mr. Damon took, Miss, I believe, took a cough drop at this time, and will continue to issue orders throughout the footage.
Please get this guy at least fired from this position because this is absolutely unacceptable from.
Really is.
I feel sorry for you guys for having to do.
Do at least a strike.
No, I don't. I think he's.
I think it's a double strike, bro.
Just give him a strike. Don't give him.
He's accused me of 2 charges of being
Same
not
here.
showing me ID. Not showing me ID. Not show. He's accusing me of being corrupt. He's accusing me for being suspicious for asking him for his ID. What do you think? And he's been calling me a fucker.
According to the governor, if
Yeah, you
anyone has
said some
any
pretty
kind
bad
of
stuff
prison
about him.
terms or criminal record, they can be fired. So, failure to comply is a dangerous offense. Even on a first strike, it can fire up to 1.
This further on, I really want to, get this guy absolutely dismissed from the organization, and I want him arrested.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know? I can arrest you. I can arrest you for. Yep. Okay.
Please
Come
return
back.
your
Come back.
items.
Come back, or I'll put you in.
Once again, Peter Damon issues an order to Kane Robertson to return items to the armory.
Cuffs. I can arrest you for. I can arrest you for professional misconduct by an unofficial.
Kane, please return your items.
Once again, you can hear Director Damon request Kane to return his item.
Nope. Listen. Return. Do you guys have a seatbelt or not?
We won't count the orders from other people present, as none of them are Kane Robertson's direct supervisor. But Peter Damon is Kane Robertson's direct supervisor. So this is where the disobeying orders charge has come in into play.
I have a taser, but this is not authorized to use lethal force. No lethal force yet. No.
Yeah, I need to. I'm not going to use lethal until Darby's been.
Yeah. Kane, please return.
I'd like it known for the record that Director Damon ordered everybody not to use lethal force against Kane Robertson, regardless of the failure to comply to orders and the non-responsiveness of, at this time, Officer Robertson, which shows a very clear value of life and a proper handling of the situation.
Return your items. Kane,
Once again, asks to return his items, refuses.
Kane, please return your items. Kane.
Listen, remove. Can you?
Your Honor, I'd like it mentioned at this point in time that Kane Robertson has been asked 3 times plus to return his items to the armory and has failed to do so, which is where the charges of disobeying orders have come into play. Would you like the continuation of the footage,
Yes,
Your
please.
Honor? Of course.
Please remove all your org equipment, please, and pass it on to Peter right here. Who's your what you're doing? By the way, we can't hear you talking.
Yeah.
Sure. If you do not pass your org equipment, you're disobeying orders from a high command. disobeying orders from a high command. Let's just.
As you can hear and can't see right now, the officer very clearly describes to Mr. Robertson as well what the what is occurring at the time.
Respecting your high command.
And you're stealing from an organisation as well.
Which can get you. Yeah, exactly.
A long one.
Cough drop,
You might
please.
need to cough.
Press. Yeah. Hello.
Okay, how am I stealing? I work here.
Because,
no, not anymore.
You're now being fired from the organisation.
Return all the equipment.
You're refusing.
Why are you firing me? What's the cause?
Professional misconduct plus refusing to comply to an officer.
Would like it known for the record there was no internal government complaint filed by Mr. Robertson through the DOC system or through the government DOJ. Mr. Robertson went straight to his private attorney, John Heldens.
How did I refuse, man?
Dude, it
How
took
did I
him like
refuse? I showed my ID.
It took you 7 minutes just to show him his ID or any kind of identification.
No, listen, there's way too much for professional misconduct. You called me a fucker. You called an FIB employee a fucker. You accused me of corruption.
Did I call you a fucker?
Yep.
Who did I call a fucker?
You said I do better work than all you fuckers, and you're meaning your employees as well.
Yeah, but did I name you? Did I name you? Did I name you? I didn't name any of you. If I didn't name any of you.
Your Honor, at this time, I would also like to mention that Kane Robertson very clearly at this point in the body camera admits to his other charge of, let me read it for the court, 2 counts of obstruction of justice, so he will be admitting to 1 count subsection C, insulting or otherwise harassment of a LEO or civil servant by calling them, and I quote, a fucker. May I continue, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Did I name you? Did I name you? Did I name you?
I
didn't name
That's
any
hilarious.
of you. I didn't name any of you.
A fucker.
I didn't name any of you. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a
Jeez.
figure. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you.
Officer, can I get your ID by the way, as a witness?
Wow. Okay.
Of course. If you don't go anywhere.
This is how we've identified Callum Valencia, the officer involved in this situation.
So is this going to court or what?
No, this is not going to court.
Fired. We're not suing you.
Remove
Oh
all your
wow,
order.
so you're firing me, really?
Yeah, remove all your
What
order
did
now.
you expect me to do this? Come in, sir. You literally blew this way out of proportion.
Use on yourself or others.
It could have just been a strike or a verbal.
Your Honor, at this point in time, I would like to point out to the court that at no point in this whole ordeal did Kane Robertson comply with orders, return his items, as was requested by the Deputy Director of DOC, who has authority to fire. So this is where the I think 2 charges is rather generous, but this is where we are. 2 charges of obstruction of justice as well as disobeying orders, which has been present all throughout the videos.
Does the defendant want to say something?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to examine my client in front of the court.
Sure.
Okay.
Please make sure he stands over there.
Your Honor, I would request that this client be placed under, that the witness be placed under oath.
Oh yes, of course.
All right, Kane, can you please step behind here, please? Yeah, go in between the chairs. Go in between the chairs.
He may be stuck.
Yeah,
There you go. Where am I going?
Right behind here. Yep. And would you mind unmuting yourself in the email?
Mr. Robertson, do you solemnly swear that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
All right.
May I begin, Your Honor?
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
So, Mr. Robertson, how long have you been working for the DOC?
I've been working for the DOC for 2 terms. Previous term and and current term. It's over 3 shifts and over 20 hours. Put in.
Okay. And during this time of employment, have you familiarized yourself with the handbook provided to you by the government?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. And provided, if you were to read over this handbook, you would see that the armory is only available to government employees. Is this correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, would, if you saw a civilian trying to pull from the armory, would you stop them?
The protocol is if a civilian is seen in the armory area that's not in uniform, just plain clothes, I'm pretty much to basically go by protocol and to basically to put them in cuffs and to grab them by the arm and to pretty much go by protocol and ask them what they were doing in there and who they are and if they have identification to prove who they are. And of course, I always make sure at the time that I'm on duty, because I know when I'm on duty, I'm I'm obliged to provide ID and there was an instance previously where I did see a civilian one time in the armory, which provided me with his ID, which of course wasn't a government official, and of course on upon showing his ID, I pretty much asked him what he was doing in there, and he was just basically grabbing his gear, and I told him that as part of the handbook, it does not stipulate that LSPD and SHPD can also use the armory, and I was told by a supervisor of the DLC that only government officials are allowed to use the armory. If I do see any LSPD or police officer, or if I be using the armory, I'm basically just to tell them that they're not allowed to use the armory and that to use their armory. We don't use theirs, so why should they use ours?
Okay.
And that's just part of the handbook.
Okay, Kane. So, Mr. Tosca, I have a question for you, actually.
Mr. Heldens,
One.
can I interrupt you real quick?
Yes, ma'am.
Considering the time and that there will be soon something that will wave us all away, would the FIB please take Mr. Robertson out of cuffs so we don't have another incident where he lands somewhere else?
Back in jail.
And at 3:58,
Yeah, don't worry, I'll stand
can we
over
have
here.
a 5-minute recess, Your Honor?
Yes, yes.
All right. I'll continue.
I agree with that recess.
Okay. So, Mr. Robertson, is it true that civilians have a way of obtaining LSPD armor?
It is possible because I have witnessed some corruption in my time.
Right. So,
like for instance,
would it be wrong for Mr. Robertson to assume that this person who is not wearing government gear, nor is Mr. Robertson familiar with this officer, to say, "Hey, I don't think you should be there. Let me get some ID first." No, he wouldn't. So instead, he asked him, "Hey, can you please step back? You cannot use the armory. You're not a gov employee." Because it is possible for LSPD armor to be found in the hands of a civilian or someone that is not employed by LSPD. So, Mr. Robertson, to summarize, you only denied access to Officer Valencia from the armory because he was not a gov employee and because you had seen firsthand a civilian gain access to the armory. Is this correct?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Second.
Is there anything else, Mr. Heldens?
Yes, Your Honor. Okay. Mr. Robertson, if you wouldn't mind. So, in our brief time of meeting, you explained to me your upbringing and how you were raised and the vernacular that you used. Is this correct?
OC or IC?
I see.
So, growing up in this town, what do you call it? My family, my mom and dad, and all that. We got brought up in a pretty. We got brought up in a environment where what do you call it? We were taught to be by the book with everything. And let's just say, my family, we have our lingo, so to speak, how we talk as a family. Like, for instance, if I may, one of the words I use in my family is prince, which means if you're one of those people in my family, your class is one of the most trustworthiest person in the family, person that legit we look up to.
Okay.
And
And
during my upbringing, you know, through my teenage years, you know, what do you call it? We have basically these sayings. Like, for instance, if I may say,
yes.
like, for instance, we'd call each other "you fuckers," you know, because it's like, for instance, when we were kids growing up, you know, would play about and we'd be like, you know, hey man, you fucker, you shit, what are you doing, bro? You know, you fucking, we'll just basically be using a lot of cuss words and all that, and that will be just part of our family, you know. But when it comes to a job and of an employment, we are to uphold the most highest professionalism standard possible. Like, for instance, when I first joined the DOC, what do you call it? What do you call it? Firsthand. So yeah,
You're right.
but
Yeah.
in terms of my upbringing, just so you know, for the record, what do you call it? If you hear me calling you
Objection,
fucker
hearsay.
and all that, it's nothing verbally violent. It's just part of my upbringing and how my family talked. Of course, yes, I know in duty. What do you call it? What do you call it? I even have a witness, which is no longer part of the department, who I've spoken about my upbringing, which will can
Objection,
I continue?
relevance.
I'm just telling you about my upbringing. Can I continue, John?
I did not
No,
object, so who just objected?
Yeah,
yeah, that wasn't Kevin.
that wasn't Mr. Tosca. You can just continue, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
so my upbringing, when I was brought up
This-
from a little kid up till now, let's just say my upbringing was pretty good. It was by the book and everything. My family had their quirks and sayings and all that, and we had pretty much rules, rules of course that we had to abide by, you know, and everything. And let's just say by the time I was a teenager, you know, and having friends and all that, let's just say I then started basically, you know, using my family lingo, what do you call it, with my friends and all that. And as my mother once said, God rest her soul, she once said that if I get accused for being a real loudmouth and verbal, like, you know, using the family terms such as "you fucker" and all that, and someone that doesn't know me takes it to heart, what do you call it, to let them know that it was part of my upbringing. But of course, my mother did say that there'll be some people out there that do not understand what I've been through. My upbringing was not only harsh, but it was by the book, and there was a lot of swearing involved, and just yeah, yeah, I'm just
Mr.
getting emotional.
Robertson, I hate to interrupt you, but we should really get prepared for the water that is coming in a bit. So, court is adjourned until after this.
Blah 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 blah.
No worries.